All right. Welcome to our first Facebook Live. So, if you are joining us, I'd love for you to make a comment in the section, so there are the comment section, so that we know you are here. My name is Patty Brockschmidt, and joining me is Dr. Susan Harrison.
Hello, hello.
Yay!
I'm here.
We look a little different than we did on our test.
Yes, just a little bit.
To kick off, we are starting. This is our first of conversations for RoseyDaze, and we started it because it is a choice to look at life. Our motto is to choosing to look at life through a lens of hope and possibility. So Susan is here to help us talk about the benefits of looking at life with positivity and possibility.
Nice way to put that, because that is exactly the frame of mind that I have most of the time. And I've already shared this with you off camera, but now on camera to just say I just love this. I love the whole idea of it. I only don't like that I didn't think of it. But no, I do. I love it. And I think you've also been a positive force for me, and you've helped me so much that I think it's perfect for you. And I think that now is a great time for you to start this, because we all need this little positivity. Hello, Renee. I see there's a Renee.
Oh, Renee's. The reason I wanted to start this is this year has been a little crazy for everybody, like you said. Our craziness started a little before everybody else's, with my husband and his stroke. So the early part of February, first week of February, my husband had a stroke. And so that kind of took us down a little bit of a rabbit hole before quarantine started. But because of that, we had so many people that stepped in and were able to, Renee's waving, stepped in and were incredibly supportive, and were there physically bringing meals, or saying prayers, or dropping off gift cards in our door, things that were so amazing and so helpful. And so getting through these last 6 months would not have been possible without all these other people. So this is kind of my way to kind of pay it forward and try to bring some different people to give us some advice and some suggestions on how to step through the craziness with some hope. So Lisa said you make her giggle. So how does looking at things through a positive or negative lens make a difference?
So it changes everything. And people don't really get this, because I have people that will tell me, this is just the way I am. And it's your choice. It's just like in your tagline. It's your choice, because when you're positive, it really does change everything. And life is so much harder when you're negative. And I think part of the negativity is where people jump to conclusions that someone said something to hurt them or did something to hurt them. We don't give the benefit of the doubt a lot of times. Also, I think that what people don't realize is when they go around where they don't express hope, where they don't express positivity, their stress level goes up, and oftentimes their health goes down. And it doesn't have to coincide, but I'll tell you that when I became more positive, because I went through my negative time when I didn't realize I was being negative, and a friend had to wake me up out of it, I became less ill. I was getting a lot of colds, and I don't want someone to think, oh my gosh, so are you saying because her husband had a stroke that he wasn't a positive person? It's like, no. And so I don't want people to read into it as, if I'm sick, it's not because I'm negative. No, there doesn't have to be a correlation, but it's something to really think about. And I know that it helped me. And But it does really, it just changes every aspect of your life. Can I give a little story about this real
Absolutely.
quick? Okay. So I overheard this conversation, and a woman goes up to a counter at a place of business, not to be too specific. And she just right away, I could tell that she had a bad attitude. And so it didn't matter what the lady was doing to help her. She was not going to have it, and she was not going to be happy. And so the whole thing that I knew when I saw her that she was walking up and she wasn't going to be positive, she already had this preconceived notion of negativity. And it changed the interaction. And she ended up not getting what she wanted, and she ended up leaving. And that's one thing that I do tell people is I oftentimes get what I want most of the time. And it's not because I'm a brat, like, I want this, but it's because I'm positive. And usually what I want is not anything material. It's I want help with something, or I want advice, or I want to be able to do something better, or whatever. And I generally get that because I'm positive. Whereas if you approach something in a negative way, you're not likely to get as much of what you want. You won't reach your goals as fast either. So I just see this every day in my life where people choose negativity. They choose to complain. They choose to find the negative instead of just looking for the positive. Let's say you're walking in your house and there is a sock on the floor, and you don't live alone. Because if you lived alone and it wasn't your sock, that would be really creepy. But let's say you're walking in your house and you have kids or whatever, and there's a sock on the floor. And your first thought might be, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill them. How many times have I talked to them about leaving their dirty laundry? But what if instead you didn't think about that? You instead assumed the best. Oh, maybe somebody was walking with laundry in their hands and a sock fell out. So do you see the difference? I think that we have it where people just quickly assume there's something wrong or bad instead of assuming there's something right or okay.
That sounds good. It's all the kill more fly, what, get more flies with honey.
That's it. Yes. But I like the idea of kill more. Kill more flies.
So with the crazy things that are going, is it okay to be negative sometimes?
Okay, so when I talk about positivity, there's often a misunderstanding about this because I'm not talking about Pollyanna. Oh my gosh, so I just ripped my fingernail and it just went right into my finger and it's bleeding everywhere. Isn't that funny? No, that's not funny, right? So what we're talking about is an authentic positivity. And it's where you make yourself aware of when you're negative and when you really don't need to be. And to give yourself some grace and say, it's okay if sometimes I am, and I'm not going to be too hard on myself with that. There are times where I know, especially because of me, I put myself out as a target because I am a positivity expert, that if I say anything slightly negative, people are on me like, whoa, white on rice. So I remember one time I had applied for a job and hadn't gotten an interview yet. And I had made a statement to someone saying, I don't think I'm going to get that job. And somebody whipped around and is like, well, you won't with that attitude. And I'm like, listen, whether or not I think I'm going to get the job has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not I get the job. Now, if I was going to go into an interview and be negative and thinking like that, then yes, that would affect it. But just my thought of, I don't think I'm going to get that is not inherently going to change anything. And so for me, that's okay. But if you out there are listening or watching and you are a person who tends to go to that negative side or that realist side, that's another popular one I hear. I'm a realist. If you're that side, I would say don't give yourself as much slack, because you'll give it to yourself way more than you really should. So I would say that if you have some sort of a thought, let's say, I need to get out of this house. We do not get out of this house enough. We were stuck in for COVID, and now we still don't get out that much, and you're getting a little stir crazy. It's okay to have those thoughts. And I think it's healthy. If you never have any kind of a negative thought or negative emotion, anything like that, then you're not living an authentic life. And your stress is going to be just as bad as if you were negative all the time.
Yeah. And that actually leads me to my next question was,
didn't even do it on purpose.
Yeah, very well done. Is it okay? Well, not is it okay. When do you want to make sure that you ask for help? And it's definitely okay. And that was a lesson that I had to learn. It's okay to ask for help. When you're someone who is giving help all the time or likes to be the one to offer help to other people, when do you need to make sure that you're the one that asks for help?
That is so good. For me, I really think that all of us need a little help from time to time. And I like asking for help because people like to be asked as well. I like to help people. And when I'm given the opportunity, it makes me feel good. And so to keep that in mind, that we're really being selfish if we never let anyone help us. So that's one kind of perspective. But as far as just let's say that you think you might be in a cycle of negativity, or let's say that something from your past keeps coming up and you can't seem to really shake it. Or let's say you have a lot of guilt over something, a decision that you made, and you're not sure how to stop that so much. That's when, for me anyway, I think that you need someone to talk to and to talk it through and to maybe give you some tips. And, that could be a counselor. It could be a life coach such as myself. I've helped a lot of women get out of these kind of cycles where they talk negatively to themselves. And I think that we get so into, I'm so strong, I don't need help. That mentality can really be dangerous as far as keeping us where we are. And I know that I have went to a counselor before, and I love the experience. And she always gives me something that motivates me and makes me think about another way to look at something. And I also have a life coach. Okay, she's not a life coach. She acts like one though. She's my business coach, but she also has a lot of life things that go into the business coaching. And I just continue to learn and grow. And I feel like that's such a huge part of being a person that is going to have a positive life, is to continue growing. And if you're not growing, people say you're dying. I don't know, but I do know this: my life is better and more positive when I have some people that I trust who can give me some of that advice, and sometimes just to say, hey, you need to stop what you're doing, turn around and make some new decisions. Okay. Did that answer that? I feel like I went on and on.
No. I think it did. I think that helped. It's as hard as it is. And being in a situation I was in, I would have people that would come up and say, what can I do to help? And it was hard to actually have something to tell them. But I have to keep that in mind, and I'm the same way. I like to help people. So sometimes you just kind of have to do for someone as opposed to asking what they need. If you see someone that needs help.
Yes, exactly. And that's so good, because it's awkward for the person to say, well, we could use a meal. You just you feel weird about that. And I understand. But let them. And so if somebody comes up and asks you, what could I do to help? You can say something like, well, what would you have in mind? I'm sure there's lots of things that would help us. And so then maybe you have some of that pressure off of yourself to be like, yeah, so we would like a steak dinner with baked potatoes, twice baked. Make sure the onions are chopped really finely. You know what I mean? That's how you feel when you ask for something specific. So that might help you to get over that hump. But definitely ask people, and then also back it up. I know that there was a time when we had a change in our life, and I remember this. There were lots of people that helped us, and that was great. But I had this one gentleman say, hey, here's a really specific thing. If you all ever, if your thing, without going into everything, need a ride somewhere, if this needs a ride, if we're going to need something very specific, he said. And I said, okay, if you mean it, I'm really going to ask. He goes, no, I really mean it. Well, then when I asked, he would never answer my calls, emails, or text messages. So you think, why did he offer? Well, he was offering just to be nice. He wasn't really planning on helping, I don't think. It was just kind of a gesture. So I think too that either side that you're on, make sure that you really mean it, that you're really going to back it up. If something happens and you can't, you need to let them know why. But then on the other side, we need to not hold their feet to the fire either. Because it's kind of bonus. It's nice if they help, but we don't have to have it.
Yeah, Corey just mentioned, she said the smallest gestures are so appreciated. If you feel like there's something you can do, any small thing is huge to the people going through something. So very, very true.
Yes, that's such a good point. Even letting us know that you're thinking of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, thank you, Corey.
And people were like, I didn't know what else to do. I just wanted you to know I was thinking of you. I'm like, absolutely. That's still very helpful. So, and I think everybody appreciates that. So as we're going forward, life is still kind of in that uncertain, direction.
Yes.
Some things that we can do to kind of help get through this period of uncertainty.
So there is an acronym that I have that I know helps in this situation that we're in, and it's TAP. So TAP. So the T is thankfulness. And when I say thankfulness, anyone that's heard me speak knows I don't mean just I'm thankful for my house, my car, my family, that sort of the job, big things. Although right now it's especially important to be thankful for your job. So that's definitely still in there. But I'm talking about living a life of thankfulness where you look for little things to be thankful for. Right now, I am really thankful that my animals are downstairs and they are not in my room barking, because then you may not be able to hear me. It's noticing, hey, I have flowers on this blanket that I love. And, instead of just seeing it because you see it every day. Oh my gosh, I love this picture and I never look at it. But I do love that. Or I have a grocery cart that's smooth. I'm so thankful. It's just living that life of thankfulness. So TAP, T is thankfulness. A is attitude. And that's basically do an attitude check. Where am I? I notice that if I'm a little stressed, I may not know it, but I will be gripping the steering wheel when I'm driving. And so I try to pay attention to my body. What is my body doing? My shoulders also will go up whenever I'm feeling stressed, whenever my attitude is not the best. And so then I'm just like, okay, lower the shoulders. What's going on? And just kind of do an attitude check on yourself. And then P is patience. And it's patience for yourself. Give yourself some grace. And it's also patience for other people. And remember that other people are going through things too. And so if we take it out on them, we're just perpetuating the cycle. And then it looks like Lisa said something.
Yeah. Grateful for the 4 cardinal couples in the backyard.
Oh, I love that one. If anyone else has some thankful things that they can do right now, I mean, that'd be great to add. Do you have one that you have, Patty? What's something you're thankful for? Oh my gosh.
Today is National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. So I baked.
That is such a good day to be thankful. Now, how do you like your chocolate chip cookies? Do you like them with nuts or with oats or just regular?
Actually, my daughter bakes a salted chocolate chip cookie that's got, oh my goodness, it's amazing. And my son-in-law sent me a recipe for the Bon Appetit chocolate chip cookie that the dough tastes like caramel. So those are two amazing ones. So,
wow, maybe you should be sharing the recipes.
oh, I can do that. Corey said the weather.
Oh, yes.
Lisa Round said I'd be thankful for cookies too. I can share. Yes, Corey, you can have some too.
We're all coming over. You just post your address on Facebook.
Yeah, that would be good. Please, because I bake way too often, so I'm trying not.
That's funny. It's the quarantine 15, right? For me, it's the quarantine 20.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see what Lisa wrote about you?
Yes. Baking is definitely my calming mechanism.
True, huh? I love that she knows that about you.
Yeah. There we go. Renee said, thankful for my garden. Brings me joy. And yeah, she went through the cookie phase. Her garden is getting, she's got an amazing garden. Denise, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Reconnecting with high school friends. Yeah, we've been talking every week all summer. It's been amazing. I love it. So,
oh, that's wonderful. There really are some great things to be thankful for that happened during all of this. Yeah. And so I love that your friends and the people watching are recognizing that.
Yeah, positive things that have come out of the craziness. Yeah, Lisa Round said, I'm thankful for homegrown tomatoes. A friend gave yum. Homegrown tomatoes. Since we moved to the smaller community, we have 5 different farms within 15 minutes. And so being able to get out for fresh produce has been amazing. So
that's wonderful.
It's been very nice.
I love that. How far away is the closest house to you?
Oh, they're not far. Probably, I'm not very good. I'm probably 50 yards each way.
Oh, okay, good. I like to have neighbors, but then you still have so much space. I think that's the perfect combination there.
It's been very good. It's been very
good things to be thankful for.
So, question for you, since you are an author, a speaker, you have all these amazing things that you do, which first one, I have one of your books right here.
Hey, I know the lady who wrote that.
So what is your next project? What do you have coming up?
Well, I say we, mouse in my pocket. So I have this group, as you're fully aware, called In Confidence. And I'm super excited about it because it has really evolved. I just made changes every month that I did it. It's been going on about 2 years now. And it's improved greatly from the beginning. And every time I do it, it's helping more women gain their confidence. And it's all about things like, let's see, how to stop the negative self-talk, how to learn to say no, set those boundaries, how to, what'd you say?
That was a hard one for me.
Oh, yes. And I'm trying to think what else. There's so many. I should have written these down. I thought, that'll just come to me.
Stepping out of your box was one.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so what I do is I take a really personalized approach. So it's based on what you particularly need. So I had one woman who wanted to run a marathon, and she really needed that extra confidence to get it done and someone to hold her accountable. And so that was kind of a smaller thing. But then I have another woman who, didn't want to go into a fast food place by herself with that, even ordering to go. She didn't want to talk to any strangers, but she wanted to. She just didn't feel like she could. So we kind of go all the spectrums depending on what your confidence is and what you need particular help with. But then it's daily coaching. So you can get to the next level based on you. It's not cookie cutter. And so it has now evolved. And I told you I would share this. It the last way, but now it's evolved where it's an 8-week program. And it's still daily coaching, except weekends, because I learned that the hard way. I've got to take off a little time for myself. And it's daily coaching. And then you still get part of a Facebook group. And there's units in the Facebook group that deal with all these particular things. Plus, you know that you get a workbook and you get that individualized coaching. So yeah, you've got it right there. Yes. So it's really changed some lives, and I made it 8 weeks because when women did it 1 month, they saw changes, but when they did it 2 months, they saw big life-changing changes. And the women that it helped even months ago, because I stopped right before COVID, I decided during COVID I was going to wait for at least for the big part of it. But their lives have still kept strong, and they've still kept the things that we've went through and they've grown from. And so I'm really excited about it. I'm so excited about it and what it's done. And I can't wait to start promoting it big time and get some more women involved.
That's awesome. Well, this is definitely one of those things that I jumped out of my comfort zone. I'm into the next one.
I'm really impressed. And, there was a lady that I coached who was in the program, and she really did not want to do videos. And now she does a weekly video. Every single week she does videos. And it's wonderful just to see her growth and her progress. So
yeah. So Denise had a question. It said, what are your thoughts on all the people who are being so negative these days on social media? Good question.
A very good question. I am mad at them. No, I was kidding. I feel negatively towards them. So I think that we have to remember we cannot control other people. And what happens a lot of times is when we see negativity, when they don't need to be, it can go beyond, I wish they'd be positive, to really, really annoying us and making us feel more negative and giving us more stress. So it's one of those things where you want to not get into, you don't want to get sucked in, because it's so easy to get sucked into those. I know. And it can be kind of fun, but then it can be a little stressful for you. So let them be them is kind of my take on them. But if I was coaching one of those people and they were asking me for help, then I would say to them, let's pull back on anything negative. Let's pull back about posting, you should wear a mask or you shouldn't wear a mask or anything like that. Let's just pull back on that, because you're not going to be changing anyone's mind more than likely, especially when you're negative about it. If you come out and you say something like, hey, listen, here's food for thought. I just want you to think about this. And you do it in a positive way and maybe even show both sides. People are more apt to listen to you. But when you just come out and you're just negative, you're not going to make a difference, and you're just going to cause yourself frustration. That's kind of the advice that I would give if that person was asking me. And they're not.
So yeah, I was going to say that sadly they are the people that normally don't ask what they should be doing. So.
Yeah, and I'm curious what Corey meant. I don't know. You can see her comment there. She said, still working on it.
Yes, I think that came when we were talking about saying no.
Oh, yes. So I can give a tip for that if you'd like.
Yes. Do that. I'll answer for her. Yes, she would like
that. Might help Corey. Yes, and I'm happy to give any tips on anything. I'll give away all my stuff for free, whatever you want, because it's Patty and I love Patty. Okay, so saying no. One of the big things that I learned about this is that you don't say yes right away. This was a big problem that I had. Somebody would say, hey, Thursday night, do you want to go da-da-da? And I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I already promised somebody else I was going to do something on Thursday night. And I didn't take a moment to look at my calendar. I didn't take a moment to just think about what I've talked to people about. And I just would commit to things. And it wouldn't just be something on Thursday night. It'd be like, can you help out every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m.? I'd be like, yes. Oh, wait, no, I can't. So my first tip on being able to say no is to not say yes so quickly. Instead, have some sort of a phrase. Something that might work is, let me check and I'll get back to you. And then every time somebody asks you to do something, even if you are 100% positive you can do it, you still say, let me double check and get back to you. And you just always say that. And that is going to help you to be able to say no a lot easier. So there's one tip.
That's that's a very, very good tip. And that was part of our course. And I believe I've used that one a time or two. Because I was one of those people that, yeah, Corey said, yes, she wanted the tip. Bring it on.
Yay, Corey. I like her.
Because I know Corey is one of those people she bends over backwards to help everybody. And so it's hard to say no. I know she has a hard time with that. So yes, that's a very good tip.
Yeah. So I'm going to add to that then, since you told me that about Corey. Corey, this is for you. Okay. So, oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. So when you are a kind-hearted person, one of the things to think about is when you say yes to too much, you're actually taking away the opportunity for other people to serve, because it's like, oh, well, Corey's going to do it. I kind of wanted to, but I don't want to step on her toes. So that can be one way to think about it. And then the other thing is when you say yes too much, then sometimes what happens is you don't do things as good or as well enough as you should do them because you've overextended yourself. So when we have these kind big hearts and we try to do too much, sometimes it can actually end up hurting other people. So there's a little extra bonus for you.
That's good. Yeah. And you don't think about it that way, about other people also wanting to do that. So,
and sometimes people don't jump up right away. You know, it's like the kids in the classroom and you've got this one, ooh, I know. And then the kid behind is like, well, I'm not going to say anything because Cindy knows. But if the teacher just says, okay, Cindy, I'll call on you in a second, put your hand down, anyone that gives them a second, just a little bit to think and to get the courage up, then they might. So sometimes it's not good. And then Corey here says, and I caused myself anxiety. Oh my gosh, Corey. That was me. I am telling you, Patty, that was so me because I would overextend myself and I would cause myself anxiety. So can I give you another short story here?
Yes.
Okay. So many years ago, I was really bad at this, overextending myself. And so one day I made double appointments, and one was to have lunch with my sister and my niece, who was about 4 at the time. And I had lunch with them all the time. Well, my sister said this to me, not in a snotty way, but just to share with me what her daughter said. And she didn't mean anything by it. But I just said, oh, hey, what did Morgan say when you told her I couldn't come? And she said, why? And I said to her, well, you know, Aunt Susie sometimes doesn't do the things she said she's going to do. Oh. And again, my sister, I've told her the story, has no recollection of even saying this because she wasn't trying to be mean. She's being very matter-of-factly. That's just how I lived my life back then. And it was a wake up call. Oh my gosh. Because I still adore her, even though she's old now, adored her. And oh my gosh, it just broke my heart. And so that really made me see that all of my good intentions were actually hurting some people.
It's a good way to think about it, though. So,
and I don't know, Patty, if you're going to read this one, but I think you should. The one that Lisa complimented you on, the big one.
Yeah, she said she's proud of me for weathering some huge storms and even answered the call quickly to bring this to us. Thank you for example of RoseyDaze lens and your courage. Thank you, Lisa.
And I agree. Awesome. Oh, Corey said, ouch. Yeah, right. It is an ouch. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, she also said, thank you, Susan, for sharing your wisdom, a blessing to us all. So, yes, thank you. I love how a friend of mine had taken from your website, and she said, I have to remember, she believes that life should be filled with fun, positivity, and chocolate. I was like, I love that. I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was sitting around one day and I was thinking, okay, I wasn't just sitting around. Somebody needed me to speak at a conference. And so when I was going to speak at this conference, they wanted me to write something up. And I looked at what I already had and I thought, I don't know, it needs a little bit more of me in it. And so that's when I wrote that. And I thought, this is me.
I love that. I absolutely love it. Thank you very much for coming on and being a guest and sharing some tips for positivity and hope for people to said yes in any order. My friend, Toby, I was a little nervous. But one of the things, so after doing, was we were talking about doing this, one of the couple of things we wanted to do was end with a helpful tip.
Yes.
A quote or an affirmation. So the helpful tip is kind of a strange thing, but I am positively older than, my daughter is old enough to be doing her own laundry, and she has a family of her own, but she taught me how to do laundry stripping, and it's not stripping while you're doing laundry.
Which was my question, yes.
But how to take your towels and clean them, and it's a mixture of things to actually get the excess detergent and make them smell good again. So I will post that. It's very cool. Most people probably already knew it. I just didn't.
I didn't.
And then the quote that I wanted to end with, and then I'll tell you who the next guest is. It's "Breathe, darling. This is just a chapter." I've got it here. Hang on. Let's see if I can pull it up. There.
And Denise really enjoyed it, she said.
Yay. Breathe.
Oh, I love that.
It's just a chapter. It's not your whole story. So as life gets crazy, continues to be crazy, we'll try to get some new topics and some new people. So if you have suggestions, I am all open. If you have people that you think would be amazing to bring on. The next person that is coming on, however, is going to be amazing. And let's see, let's take this one down, is Kimberly Wright. So
my friend too.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah. So that will be awesome. So the next time will be in 2 weeks on August 18th, Tuesday at 7 p.m.
RoseyDaze.
Yeah.
Love it. And Patty, you did excellent. Thank you so much for having me on. And yeah, you were a pro.
We won't go that far, but thank you very much. You made it easy. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Someone said those chapters are a little long sometimes. So yes.
I love that.
You have to keep writing them more. Add to them. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
So welcome. Have a good night.
You as well. Bye.
Bye.